Welcome to Tutor KE, and in this session we'll have Form 3 Mathematics, Quadratic Expressions and Equations, and I'll be taking you through graphs of quadratic functions. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to find the values corresponding to x and y for a given quadratic expression and plot a graph of that function. A quadratic function has the form y is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a should not be 0. The graph of a quadratic function is U-shaped and is called a parabola. It can have the lowest point or a highest point depending on the side it is opening. If it is opening upwards like this, it means that it will have a lower point. If it is opening downwards like this, it means that it will have the highest point. So the lowest or the highest point on that graph is called vertex, and the axis of the symmetry for the graph of a quadratic function is the vertical line through the vertex. So if we want to get the axis of symmetry, we draw a line which is passing through the vertex of these graphs, and that is the axis of symmetry. Let us draw a graph of this given function, and first we need to get the values which are corresponding to x and y, and we draw a table of values. So we have x, y. I'll take the values of x from -1 to 3. So we have -1, we have 0, we have 1, 2, then 3. To get the corresponding values of y, we need to substitute the values of x in the function. So the first one will have y is equals to -2. Into brackets we have x as -1, then it is squared, plus 5 into -1, then minus 1. So -1 squared gives us +1. We multiply by -2, so we have -2. 5 multiplied by -1 is -5, and then minus 1. This gives us -8. So when x is -1, y is -8. For 0, x being equal to 0, we also substitute. We'll have y is equals to -2 into brackets 0 squared plus 5 into brackets 0, because the value of x is 0, minus 1. So this will be 0 plus 0, -1, and this tells us that y will be equal to -1. So the corresponding value of y when x is 0 will be equal to -1. Then we get the value of y when x is 1. So we have y is equals to -2 into 1 squared plus 5 into 1 minus 1. So 1 squared is 1, multiplied by -2 gives us 2 negative, then plus 5, and then minus 1. This is 3 minus 1, and our y will be equal to 2. So we go to the table of values and we have y equal to 2. So we go to the next value of x, which is 2. So when x is equal to 2, this means that y will be equal to negative 2 into 2 squared plus 5 into 2 minus 1. This is negative 8 plus 10 minus 1. Negative 8 plus 10 gives us 2, minus 1 gives us 1. So the corresponding value of y will be 1. Then we go to the last value of x, which is 3. So y is equals to negative 2 3 squared plus 5 into 3, then minus 1. 3 squared is 9. We multiply by negative 2, we get negative 18, then plus 5 multiplied by 3, which is 15, then minus 1. This gives us negative 18 plus 15, which is negative 3, then minus 1 gives us the value of y as negative 4. So in the table we have the last value of y as negative 4. Now with the table of values, we can plot that graph on the grid which is provided there. So we can have the table of values here. We have x and y. When x is 0, we start with x being negative 1. So x is negative 1 when the value of y is negative 8. Then x is 0 when y is negative 1, x 1, and y equals to 2. We have x2 and y1. Lastly, x3, y being negative 4. We plot these points on a Cartesian plane so that we can have a graph. So this is how the graph should look like when x is negative 1. Here we have x negative 1 and y negative 8 right here. We go to x being 0, y negative 1. We have a point there. X 1 when y is 2. So another point over there. 2 for x and 1 for y over there. And lastly, x is 3 when y is negative 4. Now we join these points with a smooth curve. So you make a curve which is smooth, passing through the points, and you'll realize that this graph will be a U-shaped graph which is opening downwards. So it has a highest point at 2, and that one we called it a vertex. So its vertex is 2. And the line of symmetry of this curve is a line passing through the vertex, and it is given as x is equals to 1. That is the line of symmetry. This is the end of this lesson. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.